Have you ever felt like life is harder for you than for others? Like no matter how hard you try, obstacles just keep coming your way? You may not realize it, but this could be a sign that you are chosen by God for something greater. Matthew 22 verse 14 says, "For many are called, but few are chosen." Being a chosen one doesn't mean life will be easy. In fact, it often means the opposite: greater trials, deeper struggles, and heavier burdens. But why? And more importantly, how do you overcome it? Stay with me because in this video, I'll reveal 5 reasons why chosen ones struggle in life. And by the end, you'll understand how to turn these struggles into stepping stones for your destiny. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't lose hope. God has a plan for you, and today, we're going to uncover it together. Let's dive in. 1. Spiritual warfare is real. The first reason chosen ones struggle is because spiritual warfare is real. The moment you step into your divine calling, you become a target. The enemy doesn't attack those who are stagnant. He attacks those who are advancing in purpose. Ephesians 6 verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. This means your battles aren't just physical. The opposition you face, whether it's setbacks, discouragement, or sudden misfortunes, is often spiritual in nature. Job was a righteous man, yet he suffered immensely. Why? Because Satan specifically targeted him because of his righteousness. Job 1 verses 8 to 12. The enemy's goal was to shake his faith, but Job endured and was later restored with double blessings. Have you ever noticed that just when you're about to make a breakthrough, things suddenly go wrong? It's not a coincidence. The enemy tries to stop you before you step into your destiny. How to overcome spiritual warfare. Stay in prayer. James 4 verse 7. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Pray daily and declare victory over your life. Put on the armor of God. Ephesians 6 verses 13 to 17 describes the full armor of God that protects us from spiritual attacks. Stay in faith. No matter how hard it gets, trust that God is fighting for you. 2 Chronicles 20 verse 15. The battle is not yours, but God's. Spiritual warfare is real, but so is God's power. The struggles you face aren't there to break you. They're there to strengthen you for what's ahead. Are you ready to fight back? Let me know in the comments. 2. Isolation and rejection. The second reason chosen ones struggle is because they often face isolation and rejection. Have you ever felt like you don't fit in? Like people pull away from you for no reason? It's not by accident. Being set apart means you won't always belong. John 15 verse 19. If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Jesus himself warned that the world will reject those who are chosen. It's a painful reality, but it's also proof that you are walking a different path. Joseph, his own brothers hated him for his dreams and sold him into slavery, Genesis 37 verse 4. But that rejection was what led him to Egypt, where he fulfilled his destiny. Jesus, even in his hometown, people doubted him. Mark 6 verse 4 says, "A prophet is not without honor, except in his own country." David, even after being anointed as king, he was rejected and hunted by Saul. 1 Samuel 18 verses 8 to 9. Have you ever wondered why friends suddenly turn against you? Or why certain relationships just don't work out? Sometimes, rejection is God's way of protecting you from people who can't handle your destiny. How should you handle isolation and rejection? Understand it's part of the process. If Joseph had stayed with his brothers, he wouldn't have reached the palace. Use isolation to grow spiritually. Many of God's greatest leaders had wilderness seasons. Moses spent 40 years in the desert before leading Israel. Know that God will send the right people. Psalm 68 verse 6. God sets the lonely in families. The right relationships will come at the right time. Rejection is painful, but it's often redirection. If people walk away from you, let them. God is setting you apart for something greater. Have you experienced isolation in your journey? Let's talk in the comments. 3. Heavy responsibilities and delayed breakthroughs. The third reason chosen ones struggle is because they carry heavy responsibilities and often face delayed breakthroughs. Have you ever felt like your blessings take longer to manifest compared to others? That's because chosen ones are prepared for greater things, and greater things require greater preparation. Luke 12 verse 48. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. The bigger the assignment, the tougher the process. God doesn't rush greatness, He refines it. Moses, before leading Israel, he spent 40 years in the wilderness learning humility and leadership. Exodus 3 verses 1 to 12. David, anointed as king while still a shepherd, but had to wait years before taking the throne. 1 Samuel 16 verses 13 and 2 Samuel 5:4-5. Abraham, promised to be the father of nations, yet waited 25 years for Isaac. Genesis 12 verse 2, Genesis 21 verse 5. Have you ever wondered why you have to work twice as hard for something that comes easily to others? It's because your foundation must be stronger to support the weight of your destiny. How to handle heavy responsibilities and delays. Embrace the process. Galatians 6 verse 9. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Develop patience and faith. God's timing is perfect. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. Though it tarries, wait for it. Stay focused and disciplined. Like Joseph, your hardship is training for your leadership. Genesis 50 verse 20. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Delayed breakthroughs aren't denials, they're preparations. If you feel like you've been waiting forever, remember, the longer the wait, the greater the reward. Have you experienced delays in your journey? Drop a comment below. 4. Attacks from people close to you. The fourth reason chosen ones struggle is because their biggest battles often come from those closest to them. It's painful, but true. Sometimes the people you love the most are the ones who hurt you the most. Micah 7 verse 6. For a son dishonors his father, a daughter rises up against her mother. A man's enemies are the members of his own household. Why does this happen? Because familiarity breeds contempt. When people have known you for years, they may struggle to accept the greatness God has placed in you. Joseph, his own brothers were jealous of his dreams and sold him into slavery. Genesis 37 verses 18-20. Jesus, even his own family doubted him. John 7 verse 5 says, For even his own brothers did not believe in him. David, King Saul, whom he faithfully served, tried to kill him out of jealousy. 1 Samuel 18 verses 10-11. Have you ever felt misunderstood by your own family? Or betrayed by friends who were supposed to support you? You're not alone. Many chosen ones experience this because your calling exposes their insecurities. How to handle betrayal and attacks from loved ones. Don't take it personally. Jesus faced the same thing. If they rejected him, don't be surprised when they reject you. John 15 verse 20. Forgive and keep moving. Joseph forgave his brothers, and in the end, God used him to save them. Genesis 50 verse 20. Stay focused on your calling. Don't waste time trying to convince people who refuse to see your worth. Luke 9 verse 62. No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God. Betrayal hurts, but it won't stop your destiny unless you let it. If God allowed certain people to walk away, it's because He's making room for those who truly belong in your life. Have you ever faced attacks from close ones? Share your experience in the comments. 5. The process of refinement. The final reason chosen ones struggle is because God takes them through a process of refinement. Just like gold must go through fire to be purified, you must go through trials to become who God has called you to be. Zechariah 13 verse 9. I will bring the third part through the fire, refine them as silver is refined, and test them as gold is tested. Many people want the blessing, but not the process. But if you skip the process, you won't be prepared for the promise. A Job lost everything but remained faithful. In the end, God restored him double. Job 42 verse 10. Joseph went from pit to prison before reaching the palace. Genesis 41 verses 39-41. Paul faced persecution, imprisonment, and shipwrecks, yet became one of the greatest apostles. 2 Corinthians 11 verses 23-27. Do you feel like you're being stretched, tested, and pushed to your limits? That's because God is refining you. The process is painful, but the result is priceless. How to endure the refinement process. Trust God's timing. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Stay faithful in hard times. James 1 verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial. Remember, the fire is not to destroy you, but to prepare you. Like gold, you're becoming more valuable through the process. God is shaping you for something bigger. The process is necessary, but the reward is worth it. Don't fight the fire. Embrace it. What part of the refinement process are you going through right now? Let's discuss in the comments. Being chosen is not easy, but it is worth it. The struggles you face, Spiritual warfare, isolation, heavy responsibilities, betrayal, and refinement are not to break you, but to shape you. Every great person in the Bible went through trials before stepping into their destiny. And guess what? You are no different. Romans 8 verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Your struggles are part of your testimony. Don't give up. Don't let the process discourage you. Keep trusting God, keep growing, and keep walking in purpose. If this message resonated with you, make sure to like this video to help more people see it. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Comment below, which of these struggles have you faced? How has God helped you through it? Remember, the struggle is temporary, but God's plan for you is eternal. Stay strong, stay faithful, and keep moving forward. See you in the next video.